What's up? Back again. It's part three of the lesson called Native Americans and Mexicans are not the children of Israel. I had looked out in the book of Joshua chapter 76, and I was going to read, verse 1 through 18. I mean, the first two parts is all about proving that the children of Israel was a black nation according to the Bible, and how they was always mistaken as Egyptians and as Ethiopians. Because, like I said, it's kept saying teaching that they talking about that the Spanish and Native Americans are the 10 tribes, and not all the children of Israel. Or so they think that all the children of Israel were Negroes, and we can read throughout the whole scriptures in history that the Shemitic nation was a black nation, and that means that all the children of Israel that came out of the Shemitic nation were all black, all 12 tribes. Just like the Ishmaelites, and their 12 sons, the 12 princes, was all black as well, including Esau too, by the way. So now I'm just going to go back to Joshua chapter 76, and, in verse 1 through 18. And one thing you got to understand, people, that when you look at the Native Americans, when you look at the Spanish, when you look at the Dominicans, I'm not even talking about the Afro-Dominicans, the slaves they brought over there. I'm talking about the white people who came and conquered over there, then they brought our people over there. In the Mexicans, when you look at these people, these ethnic groups, man, they don't look none like no damn Ethiopians. They sure as hell don't look like no Egyptian. They don't have woolly nappy hair. And they don't fit none of the description of how the children of Israel look. Because the Lord always compared the children to the Ethiopians according to Amos chapter 9, verse 7. And you can also read the same thing in the book of Jeremiah chapter 13 and verse 23. That the Lord always compared the children of Israel as Ethiopians, and the children of Israel looked just like the Egyptians. So Israel was a black nation. They were not a damn white people, or they were not, and they're not, the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans, whatever they claim to be. These were Negroes. Now I'm gonna go to Joshua chapter 76. I'm gonna start at verse 1, and I'm gonna stop at 18. Then we're gonna get to the good stuff as far as the curses, the history books, the whole 9 yards. I just want to get my foundation started. I know that's a long foundation, whatever. I just want to get everything started before we get to the curses, so we can get a better idea who's the children of Israel. And it shows hell the Native Americans, and it shows not the Native Americans. It shows hell as not the damn Mexicans, nor the Asian groups or anything y'all claim to be. These were black people. So Joshua chapter 76 and verse 1 through 18. As I explained in my last part too, I want to get to Moses, that how he was mistaken as Egyptian too. But I just want to show y'all other things before he fled to the land of Midian. He also went to Ethiopia first and lived there as a king for such and such years. We're gonna read that how many years he was a king for. He was a king for the Ethiopian. You can read it. It's about Moses and how after he left Ethiopia, he went to the land of Midian, and how they mistaken him as the Egyptian, and he ain't had no Egyptian clothing in. But we're going to read what the scriptures have to say. So I'm going to go to Joshua chapter 76 and verse 1 to 18. And it says, Moses the son of Amram was still king in the land of Cush in those days. And he prospered in his kingdom, and he conducted the government of the children of Cush in justice and righteousness and integrity. And all the children of Cush loved Moses all the days that he reigned over them. And all the inhabitants of the land of Cush were greatly afraid of him. I mean, when you are Israelite, people are going to be afraid of you. And that's how they are with us today. Verse 3. In the 40th year of the reign of Moses. So Moses ruled the Ethiopia for 40 years. Since he was 18 all the way to, 60-some years old, whatever. We're going to find out. If the 40th year of the reign of Moses over Cush, in the 40th year of the reign of Moses over Cush, Moses was sitting in the warrior throne, which Adonai, the queen, was before him, and all the nobles were sitting around him. And Adonai, the queen, sitting before the king and the prince. And what is this thing which you and the children of Cush has done for this long time? And certainly you know that for 40 years that this man has range over Cush, he has not approached me, and nor he has served the gods of the children of Cush. And now therefore hear, O you children of Cush, let this man no longer reign over you, as he not of our flesh. And so men not behold, me Archer, my son, is grown up. Let him reign over you, for it is better for you to serve the son of your Lord than to serve a stranger, a slave of the king of Egypt. And all the people, nobles, and the children of Cush heard the words of Adonai, the queen, had spoken in their ears. And all the people were prepared until evening. In the morning, and they rose up early and made Menachus, whatever his name is, the son of Kinkaris, king over them. And all the Cush were afraid to stretch forth their hands against Moses, for the Lord was with Moses. And the children of Cush remembered the oath which they swore unto Moses, and therefore they did no harm to him, because the Lord was with Moses. And they would not dare to lift a finger against Moses. They would be their head right there too. Now verse 11. And now the children of Cush gave many presents to Moses and sent him from them with great honor. So now they sent Moses away with great honor. It was a great honor because he served them as their king for 40 some years. He served them for 40 some years as king of Ethiopia. Now, if he was a white boy, they would have killed him right there. He was stuck up like a sore thumb. But he was a black man who ruled Ethiopia. But that's not all, though, because he was not just he was a king of Ethiopia, but we're going to find out, too. We just found out that he never slept with the Ethiopian woman. He never wanted to approach her to her, and she was pissed off about that for 40 years. You know what I'm saying? He never touched her because he knew the laws the Hebrew laws that we ain't supposed to go outside our race. I mean, he served the Lord while he was king. And now they sent him with great honors because what he had done for them. Now, what else? In verse 12, so Moses went forth from the land of Cush and went home and ceased to rage over Cush. Moses was 66 years old when he went out of the land of Cush, for the thing was from the Lord, and for the period had arrived in which he had appointed in the days of the old to bring forth Israel from the affliction of the children of Ham. So Moses was 66 years old when he started raging the land of Cush, and he raged this since he was 18 after he fled for the Egyptian, right? Now, what else he did after he left there, and he was 66 years old? Hey, sorry, y'all. Okay, let me see. Verse 13. Moses went for Midian. Verse 13. Moses went to Midian, for he was afraid to return to Egypt on account of Pharaoh. He went and sat in the well of the water of Midian. 7 daughters of Reuel, and the Midianite went out and to feed that father's flock. And they came to the well and drew water to water their father's flock. And the shepherds of the Midian came and drove them away. Moses rose up and helped them and watered the flock. They came home to their father, Reuel, and they told him that Moses did for them. And verse 18, now listen carefully, y'all, because Moses was in Ethiopia for 40-some years. And he left out at 66 years old after he went in there when he was 18. Now, ain't no way to hell he's gonna wear the clothing of an Egyptian, to be mistaken as an Egyptian, if he served in the Cushite kingdom for that long. So y'all cannot use the clothing right here. Now, let's read what it says. They came to draw water. Okay, they came to draw the father's water for the. Let me read verse 15 again. They came to the well and drew water to the water of their father's flock. And the shepherds of the Midian came and drove them away. Moses rose up and helped them and watered the flock. And they came home to their father Reuel and told him what Moses did for them. And they said, an Egyptian man has delivered us from the hands of the shepherds, and he drew the water from us and watered the flock. Let me read verse 18 again. Then we'll go back to Exodus and it's going to say the same thing. Because they said that the Egyptian had delivered us and helped us. So why they mistaken Moses as the Egyptian? And please, I hope y'all don't be that stupid talking about he had on the clothing. And I just read that he was the king of the Ethiopians. For 40 years, and he left out of there when he was 66 years old. So he never wore the clothing of the customs of the Egyptians for that long when he walked out of there. So anyway, I can use years, and he left out of there when he was 66 years old. So he never wore the clothing of the customs of the Egyptians for that long when he walked out of there. So in a way, I can use that he wear the clothes of the Egyptian. No, he was black as hell. He was black, just like Joseph was black. It's like the 12 sons was black. That's why they almost mistaken as Egyptians, because they was a black race of people. Let me read verse 18 again. And they said, an Egyptian man had delivered us from the hand of the shepherd, and he drew the water from us and watered the flocks. So Moses was mistaken as Egyptian. Now, can y'all look at the Native Americans and say that they look just like the Egyptians, even though some of them was dark, because they got hell's blood in them. But do they look just like the Egyptian with the straight, silky ass hair? No, they don't. They don't even look close to no Egyptian. Do the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans look like the Egyptian today? No, they do not. They look more like Asian than they do African. We can look at their eyes and say those Mongolia eyes, the slitty eyes. All of them look Asian, man. So that should tell you right there that all 12 tribes was mistaken as Egyptians because they was black. Now I'm going to go back to the book of Exodus chapter 2. We're going to read the same thing like I just read in book of Joshua chapter 76 and verse 18. Because he was mistaken as the Egyptian. And we can read the same thing in the book, the Bible. Your damn elders lied to y'all talking about all 12 tribes was not Negroes. That's a bullshit lie they're teaching you. If you go to the history, read the Bible, all 12 tribes of Israel were a black people. They were black race. They were Negroes. It's been proven throughout the history. And that bullshit, the Bush, they try to justify talking about it was not Negroes because they want to go based on the doctrine of the Mormons because they under 501c3. Y'all need to come out of these camps, man. I'm telling y'all. Read the real history for yourselves. Look at the artifact over there, the walls over there, the Egyptian. It will tell you that they slaved the 12 tribes of Israel in Egypt. And they painted them as black people. They ain't painted them as one black and one white and one yellow. They can make a different color than you was. These were black people right here. Now let's go to Exodus chapter 2. And I'm going to read. Now I'm just going to read verse 1. Actually, I just want to read verse 1 through 19. Because now we got the whole insight that after Pharaoh fled after Moses fled from Pharaoh, he went to the land of the Canaan. He went to the land of the Ethiopians, Cush. He was king there for 40 years. He left out there when he was 66 years old before he went to the land of Midian. And the 7 daughters of Japhar, the priest of Midian, said that Egyptian man had rescued us he had helped us out. And all for you to be mistaken as the Egyptian, you gotta be black like the Egyptian. Ain't no other way around. And I guarantee you, once these people realize that, they came to the truth. They came to the truth, claiming to believe in the truth for the wrong reason. Just the fact that they believed that the Mexicans was Israel, so they could justify marriage out of their race. Because deep down inside of them, they really hate the black woman. And the same thing the sisters. They really hate the black man. And I blame these elders in these camps, though, that the God has not sent them to teach our lives. That's why they always talking about people going to be put to death. The GMS, everybody always talking about everybody going to be put to death because they don't believe in that damn false doctrine. Y'all niggas going to be the ones going to be put to death. And the Lord's going to make great examples of y'all when that damn martial law come and get y'all asses. And for all the lies y'all teach our people, y'all going to be examples when that time comes. And y'all gotta have breed over there in New York teaching y'all. Y'all brothers need to repent, man. Come out these camps, though, bro. Y'all need to come out these camps. And quit messing around with these cats, man. They're gonna end up having you in a lake of fire, man. And understand that a black man, according to the Bible, is the 12 tribes of Israel. And I ain't even talking about Ham seed, because they black. I'm talking about the Shemitic black people, man. Now I'm going to go back to Exodus chapter 2, verse 1 through 19. Now I'm just going to read the whole story. Y'all need to sit down. Exodus 11 through 19, And it came to pass in those days, Moses was grown, that he went out into his brother and looked on their burden. He spied the Egyptian smiting the Hebrew, one of his brothers. Now we know the whole story, that the Egyptian now, according to the book of Joshua, that it was smiting his Hebrew brothers because he had tried to sleep with his wife and ended up raping her while he was tied up. And as according to Joshua, y'all already know what happened to the resource. He went and killed the Egyptian dude. That's the whole picture of, when they took us, so you can't understand this. At verse 12, he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, and he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strode together. And he said to them that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou that fellow? And he said, who made thee the prince and judge over us? And intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, this thing was certainly known. Right? And I understand that the Lord chose Moses to be the leader because what he had did for his people. He killed that Egyptian, man. We're supposed to be examples of Moses, y'all. He killed for his people, man. And y'all let these white boys killing our people and stuff because y'all too scared, man. I'm going to tell you something. When that martial law comes, y'all better start looking at examples of Moses, though, man, and be wise at the same time. And I'm not saying go out there in the office attack. Just in case the damn FBI watching me, though. I ain't saying go out there and kill anybody. I just said be an example of what Moses is to my people. Because it's time for us to start doing it. White men, they do it all the time. White people do it. Asian people do it all the time. They Mayrads do it all the time when you smite one of their people and stuff, they killing our people. The Indians do it. Why we can't do it, man? Why we scared of the system? It's time to wake up, y'all, before it's too late. But we need to be examples as Moses was. That's why the Lord chose him. For what he had done. Verse 15. And now Pharaoh heard this thing, and he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh, dwelt in the land of Midian. Now, we just read now, before he went to the Midian, he dwelt in Ethiopia first for 40 years. Then he dwelt in Midian. And nothing changed what Joshua said, what the Bible say. It go hand in hand. But Joshua just gave you the whole picture so you can understand what you're reading in this Bible. Excuse me. And so he sat in the well, when he said by the well. So the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw water and filled the jars to the water of their father's flock. Verse 17, the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And they came to Ruphel, and they father. He said, how is that ye come so soon today? And they said, the Egyptian had delivered us out the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And don't change what the book of Joshua has said. So more likely, Moses was mistaken as an Egyptian. Just like the 12 sons, the 12 tribes was mistaken as Egyptians because they was a black race. The Lord always compared the children of Ethiopia as to the children of Israel because they were black nations. Now, since I got all that locked down as far as the color of the children of Israel and proved that they were black people, now let's go to prophecy. Let's go to the full stuff. Let's go to the list of the curses. Because that's something that they always get this messed up. Talk about the Indians lost their land to the white man and they Israelites because of that. That's some bullshit cop-out right there, man. Because you got white people lost their lands against their own people. That's why they came over here, because the king was testing them. Over in England. When you look at the history of England, how the king was testing their people, the people got tired and they were suppressed by their own people. But the question is, did that make England, does that make some of the people England Israelites? No. Look at the Chinese and how the Japanese persecuted them, took over their land. Does that make the Chinese Israelites? No. What about the fake Jews over there in Germany? When Hitler was killing and exterminating his own people based on political reasons, which is we're going through today. Does they make them the Israelites in the Bible? Hell to the no. Japhet always oppressed their own people. But one thing they would not do the things to their own people the way how they did us Negroes, the way how they did us Negroes during slavery when they brought us over here. Now I'm about to go read the curses. And I'm going to go to, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Verse 68. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68, y'all. And it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the word whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.